Well, welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. Very happy to welcome Aubrey Miller. She is from Red Buds Suds. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
I love talking to young people who have that entrepreneurial spirit, who have started their own thing, and you are one of those people. So, Aubrey, first of all, what is Red Buds Suds?
Yeah, so Red Bud Suds is a company that I started a number of years ago. It is a 4-in-1 shower bar. So we make a soap that's more than just soap. It is shampoo, conditioner, body soap, and shaving cream all in one bar. So it's a solid product. It's made using a very natural process, so it has only good stuff in it. And you can literally use it from head to toe, and it works.
What is the good stuff, or is this like McDonald's secret sauce? You can't share it.
We do put secret sauce in. No.
Okay.
But we use an old-fashioned method of making soap, like making bread from scratch. We make the soap from scratch. So we use raw materials like coconut oil, castor oil, shea butter. We actually have a great source for our shea butter. It comes from a women's cooperative in Ghana. And then we scent it with essential oils. So yeah, it's just all kinds of really good, nourishing ingredients. And for anyone who knows anything about soap making, kind of like bread making, the quality of what you put in very much makes a difference in what you get out. So we formulate our bars so that they're going to get a lot of good lather. A lot of natural products don't necessarily suds super well. And especially for washing your hair, I always look for suds because I just think they're really fun and they make me feel clean.
Yes.
So we formulate them so they get a great lather so that they last a long time. So you're actually getting, the bang for your buck. And also so that they're nice and conditioning, because for your hair especially, you're going to want something that's going to condition your hair, not dry it out.
Now, I've heard so many things about to really get a good suds, you need some kind of mineral oil, and that is not good for you. So how do you get a good suds? What makes your suds sudsy?
Sudsy? Yeah. So different oils. I mean, they are oils that we use as the raw materials, but different oils give you different results in the final soap. So for us, we use a blend of coconut oil. Coconut oil gets lots of suds. It can be a little bit drying. So we also use castor oil that's just known for being really nourishing for the hair. Oh, and then we also use lard. Produced locally here in Ohio.
Wow.
From some great farmers that have really sustainable farming methods. And that the lard actually provides a lot of richness. If you think about, pie made from that your grandma made, using lard, it's always way more delicious.
Yes, it's always better.
It produces a really stable lather, lots of suds that are just very nice and tight and last a long time. So that adds another really nice, rich component to the lather in our bars.
I wish that this wasn't radio, that people could see your skin and your hair.
Oh, thank
you. Because you're a walking advertisement for Red Bud Suds.
Thanks.
Great, smooth skin, great, lots full body hair. How do you do conditioning in a soap? Every time I see a 2-in-1, it's not really.
Yeah.
Because your hair's still pretty tangly and pretty dull and messed up at the end, and I still need conditioner.
Totally. Yep. And I was in the same boat before I started making my own. So basically, again, because we're making the soap from scratch, we can select and formulate our bars so that it has conditioning. So real quick, soap making 101. When you make soap, you take these wonderful oils, you melt them down, and then you take a substance called lye, sodium hydroxide, and then you add those things together, and then the chemical reaction that happens turns those oils into soap. And we choose ingredients, these natural, like coconut shea butter is a really good one, where when the lye reacts with the oils and turns it into soap, it leaves some other components behind that don't actually turn into soap. And those components, because we're using a natural process, or we're starting with these natural ingredients, they are left to be that conditioning. So it's a much different cleaning process than any conventional shampoo you'd find on the shelf that uses synthetic surfactants or synthetic suds to clean your hair. Stuff like sodium lauryl sulfate, you might have heard of.
All this stuff that's bad for you.
Yeah, well, it can just cause irritation or whatever,
Yes.
And it's synthetically produced. So, and it also, when you wash your hair with that, it completely strips your hair of all its moisture. And that's why, we're so conditioned to think, okay, I need to add conditioner in order to moisturize my hair, because those the synthetic surfactants really just take everything out, and so that's how we're able to get, because of how we formulate with these natural oils that have those rich components in them, to condition while it's cleansing.
How do you wash your hair with a solid bar of soap?
That's a great question. I get asked all the time. So it's actually pretty simple. You can just take the bar. I like to kind of start the lather in my hands first, and then I just work it through my hair almost like a brush until it just really gets nice and sudsy. But there's a tool that we also sell called a shoofa. It's like a loofah, but for your shower bar. That's how we got the name.
Cool.
It's like a loofah that is in the shape of a bag. So you just pop your soap inside of it, and it has a little drawstring on it, so you can put it around your wrist so you're not dropping your soap.
Oh, wow.
And with that little loofah bag, it just helps get the lather even faster and helps you apply it to your hair so that your hair doesn't stick to the bar, so you just get lots and lots of suds. So that shoofa is a brilliant, brilliant thing. I actually have one here I can show you.
That's pretty awesome. We might just do that and put it up on the website or on our Facebook page or something.
Yep. Yeah.
Because now you're talking about not having to use a shower puff because you're not squirting anything on it.
It's a lot cleaner,
but
too.
It's
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would think it would clean it every time it's cleaning something.
Exactly. Yep.
Because it's rubbing up against that soap.
Yep. And it doesn't have that, with the loofah, you have the center, that's where the bacteria always live.
Yeah.
And you don't have that
You
at
don't
all
have one.
with the shoofa. And then you can just hang it up in your shower too, so you don't get that soap buildup on your shower tray. It's clean. The bar dries out really quickly in the shoofa too, so it lasts longer. It's brilliant.
Aubrey, do you do different types of essential oils for different kinds of scents or different kinds of end game?
We do. We do. Yep. We use very pure essential oils, a long trusted industry source. People are always curious to know what essential oils we use. We use a very high, the highest grade. And then we basically select the essential oils for the benefits that they give to your hair, to your skin, to your scalp, and also because they smell good. So you get both of those. Rosemary, for example, is an oil that we use actually in every single one of our scented bars, except for the unscented, because rosemary essential oil is just really, really good for your scalp, for hair growth, for skin care as well. And then there's other essential oils like lemongrass that's very balancing. So if your hair tends to be oily, or your skin tends to be oily, it can help to make it not as oily. And if it tends to be dry, it can help in the other direction. It's kind of magical. So we use a lot of lemongrass.
It just balances whatever.
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool. And then because we haven't talked about this yet, but because we also design our bars to be able to be used outside, they're fully biodegradable. So, if you're going on a camping trip and you think, I get dirty when I go camping, I might need something to get myself clean again. We use essential oils that also aren't going to attract bugs. So they're nice when you're outside as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a camper.
Yeah.
The thought of needing a bar that would be okay outside never dawned on me. So I'm glad you brought that up for the campers listening here. Yeah.
Coming into summertime, you got your
Girl
adventures.
Scouts, they're going to need these on their
absolutely.
trips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did this idea come to you? You're in the shower going, gosh, I wish I had one thing instead of all these different bottles and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how?
Well, okay, so talking about camping, great segue. I actually worked for many years as a wilderness guide. So I was teaching people how to go on week-long canoe camping trips. And where we went was up in northern Minnesota in this beautiful, pristine wilderness area that has very high standards of what you can put into the water.
Sure.
And just because it's such a pristine place. So I mean, this is like my favorite job ever. I absolutely loved being a guide. But one of the questions that I had, after teaching these leave no trace practices to all of my trip attendant or participants, I remember being in my own shower and thinking, it's kind of odd that we're so careful about what we put in the water, in the woods when we're on these trips, but what about every day? That's the other 360 days of the year. And so I just started examining my own personal care routine and asking those questions, like, how can I make this better? So that started me on a quest to find a natural shampoo that had ingredients I could trust, that I could take out with me on any trip, and that didn't come packaged in plastic. And at the time, I tested out so many different solid shampoo bars. I even tried making my own liquid shampoo that I could put in reusable containers, and I just could not find anything that worked.
Yeah.
So I made one. That's basically where it came from.
And this sounds easier to fly with. Because
totally
you do
is.
not even have to justify how many ounces of fluid you have because it's a solid
exactly
soap bar.
Yep.
Can you use this on pets?
You can. Dogs especially. I have had a lot of customers tell me they've used our lemongrass bar and our citrus sunshine bar that also has some lemongrass in it. It's great for pets. You just got to make sure that it's out of their reach because it's so tasty they will want to eat it.
Well, I'm thinking a lot of times when you're outdoors, that is when I would be using a bar of soap outdoors because, and I know a lot of places don't want soapy dogs jumping into their lakes and
water.
streams.
Yes, and that's another great point you bring up because a lot of people think, oh, great, it's a biodegradable bar of soap. I can use it in the lake, no problem. And actually, the Leave No Trace practice is still to wash out of the water. And we actually have another tool to help with this.
Oh, good.
We've thought about this.
Have.
It's called the Simple Shower. It's a little plastic nozzle that you can just screw onto like a 2-liter pop bottle. And it has an aeration tube, so it keeps the water stream without having to squeeze the bottle. You know, it just is this wonderful shower. So you can fill up your bottle in the lake and then screw on this little shower cap and take it over to your dog and then wash up, on the shore, no drama, and rinse them off.
Wow.
So it's great. It's super handy.
Okay. How did you find out about all these things?
Just a lot of curiosity and
Goodness,
looking.
and necessity is
and
always
necessity, exactly.
mother of invention.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my
For the Simple Shower, I found it at a festival. I was thinking about putting a really expensive like solar shower equipment on my camper that I sell my soap out of when we're at festivals, so I could do demonstrations. It's like $500 for this big solar shower system.
Yikes.
And then I saw this little shower nozzle you can put on a water bottle for like $12, and I'm like, sold, done.
Going with that.
I need that to be available to my customers too because it's so handy.
Awesome. So you make all these tools available as well as the soaps.
Exactly. Yep.
I've been washing with a black soap lately that's
cool.
got activated charcoal in it. Have you gone that direction at all yet?
Yeah, actually, we have a black bar as well. Activated charcoal is fantastic. It's very detoxifying.
That's what I hear.
Yep. So one of our soaps, it's actually called that Extra Meter Cedar. Smells like a walk in the woods. We use activated charcoal in that one. So yeah.
Is there going to be a time when we can rub our toothbrush across your soap and just brush our teeth
Wouldn't
as well?
Wouldn't that be great?
Well,
I would
5
say
in one.
you could do it, but it probably wouldn't taste very
taste
good. Yeah.
But try it if you want.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Okay. You said that you wanted to make sure that you were not using plastic packaging. Tell me about your packaging.
Yeah. So we source we use boxes, recyclable cardboard boxes, and we have them manufactured in the U.S. as well. So we've intentionally looked for that option.
How long have you been doing this?
I started making soap in 2014. I started the business that spring, and it took me a couple of years to develop the 4-in-1 concept and formula. So we launched that in the summer of 2016. So
it just amazes me that a young person such as yourself would gain the know-how on how to do all these things like packaging and making relationships with people in Ghana to get the right kind of ingredients and so forth. There's just so much involved. Tell me your starting point, because we're going to have a lot more to talk about on our second half. But tell me your starting point. Where do you start when you've got an idea? Because there are entrepreneurs sitting out there going, I've got an idea, but I don't know what to do with it. What's step 2?
That is a really great question. For me, it was almost stupidity. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. To be honest, I never saw myself as an entrepreneur. I never, sat down one day and was like, I want to start a business. It was more that I was really curious. I was asking a lot of questions. I was actually at a point in my life where I was ready for a career shift, but a soap company, goodness, that was not what I thought I would be shifting into. And so for me, it was a matter of I followed my curiosity. I had this idea. It was really useful for me. And then as the idea developed, there's a lot of talk now in marketing and branding of, if you're going to create a company, if you're going to create a brand, people are looking for brands that mean something, that have a backbone, that stand for something. And so for me, where my step went from like, oh, I'm making soap in my kitchen because it's fun and because I need something, where it went from that to, oh, let me have a business here, was when I kind of found that, what is that thing I'm standing on? And for me, it was wanting to help take what I had learned on these wilderness trips and this just love of being outside and feeling so connected, wanting to be able to help people access that in their everyday daily life.
Yes.
Kind of ask the similar questions. How can I simplify, and what's my first step? So for me, it's a soap company that I started, but it's kind of my soapbox at the same time.
Oh,
so,
my.
I don't know.
Perfect. I'm happy to have handed that to you.
You're welcome.
Nice to have your core value be a literal soapbox. We are speaking with Aubrey Miller. She's from Red Buds Suds. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.